Okay, now that I have my prompt deconstructed, I'm going to go to my next page of my pre-write, and I'm going to draw my I, letter I, and I'm going to label this intro. I'm going to label this body 1. I'm going to label this body 2, and I'm going to label this conclusion. Okay? Down at the bottom. Zoom out here so you can see all of that. Okay, so in my intro, I'm going to come back later and I'm going to decide what I want to do for my hook. This is at the point where I can go back and read what's in the box. Maybe I want to use that as my hook. But my controlling idea is it is important to be grateful because things could always be worse. And you will be less stressed. Okay, now I'm going to split my controlling idea. And I'm going to write my real teal. Okay, so now my R stands for restate the controlling idea using reason 1. It is important to be grateful because things could always get worse. And then I'm going to go over to my transition. When I transition, it's going to be to my second reason. So I'm going to say, not only can things worse, but so you will be less stressed. Now, that doesn't sound exactly what I want to say, but this is my outline back and make all of this flow better when I write my rough draft and when I do my revising and editing. Right now, I just need to get my ideas down on paper. So my example, so here's my reason 1. My example 1 is going to come from Drums, Girls, Pie. When I write my essay, I'm not going to use the abbreviation. I'm going to write the whole thing out. And my details are going to be about how the book started with Stephen being annoyed with his brother. And some of my details are going to be how he wrote in his journal about how Jeffrey was the most annoying thing in the world. And then I'm going to write another detail about how he realized Jeffrey had cancer. And then how he again realized how he should have been thankful for his brother. Because he could lose him now. And then I'm going to link it back. So I'm going to say my link sentence could be, if you don't show gratitude for what you have, you might be sorry when it's gone. Now, I want you to pause the video so you can fill out your controlling idea, split your controlling idea into two, and fill out your first example, your details, and your link sentence. Okay? Now, whenever you're ready to go, you can play the video. And I'm going to go on to my next example, which is going to be those shoes. I'm going to use a different graphic organizer. You can use whatever one you want. So my example is those shoes. Or if you have a different graphic organizer, you can use that too, as long as you're doing the pre-writing and planning. So one of my details is going to be the boy wanted new shoes, but he couldn't afford them. And then I'm going to say how he stressed himself out by wanting what he didn't have. And I'm going to talk, he was comparing himself to the other kids in the schools. The kids laughed at him. He made his grandma feel bad about not being able to afford the shoes. And then another one I'm going to say is he ignored all the things he did have. And then I'm going to link it back. And I'm going to say something like, had the boy focused on all the things he had to be thankful for, he wouldn't have been so stressed out. Okay. Now I want you to pause the video and fill out your body too with your examples and your details. So in my conclusion, I'm going to have a full circle to my hook. So whatever I choose for my hook, I'm going to use for my conclusion. And for my hook, I'm going to use the quote that we talked about in some classes. Comparison is the thief of joy. Then I'm going to, for my glue, I'm going to explain. So for my conclusion, I'm going to restate my controlling idea, which is it is important to be grateful because things could always be worse and you will be less stressed. I'm going to restate that in a new way. And then I'm going to end with a bang by talking about my quote. Again, comparison is the thief of joy. So I'm going to say, don't let comparison steal the happiness you have. Just be thankful for the small things in life. So now I've brought my essay full circle, okay? I've mentioned comparison is the thief of joy in the introduction, and now I've brought it down to my conclusion. Okay, so I have my pre-writing done. Now I'm ready to go to my rough draft. So I'm just going to remind myself my hook, glue, and controlling idea are in my intro. Body 1 is real. Body 2 is teal. And then I have my conclusion. 1, 2, 3, 4 clear ways to indent and to let my reader know, what to expect in my paper.